country. They travel really good. And you go by, you ever see homeless, because you see them asleep on the sidewalk, and I always feel bad, but every time I go, a homeless guy is asleep, I always notice they go to bed at a very reasonable hour. Just walk by. You'll be like 9 o'clock. You're like, that guy's going to get a solid 8 hours. I'm going to toss and turn. He'll be to work on time, you know? One homeless guy, once he asked me for money, and I was like, all right, here. And I gave him money, and he was like, it's good to give money, man. This could happen to you. You could be homeless by tomorrow. And I was like, I don't know about by tomorrow. I was like, I have a lot of friends and family, you know? Like, I have to get rid of all of them in 20... I don't have time to do that. I would have to kill them all, and then I would just go to jail. I still wouldn't even be homeless. So I don't even think I could be homeless, you know? It'd take a long time. Very forced. Maybe that's what his message was. Maybe that was good. I don't know. When I first moved to New York from Nashville, I was here 3 months, and we would always like do comedy, then we'd go eat at a diner really late. So one night, I'm sitting in the back of this diner with some other buddies, and this guy walks in with a seeing-eye dog, but he was pretending to be blind, like he's not blind. And I could tell. I'm really good at like telling when people are fake blind. And he walks in. First of all, he makes a big announcement to everybody, like, "Hey, I'm blind. I'm blind, everybody." And he started just walking around, just knocking everything off everybody's table. Like, oh, I wish I could see what's going on, but I can't because I'm blind. And he had a seeing-eye dog, but he was leading the dog around the whole time. Like, the dog never got in front of him. And I was like, it doesn't work like that. You know, I don't think the dog builds confidence. And he's like, why don't you do some of these on your own? I just want to see, like, you know, what I'm dealing with. So I'm watching all this happen. I'm getting pretty upset about it, you know, because I just moved to the north from the south, so I still cared about people at this point. And now I've been beaten down by New York. Now if someone like died in front of me, like, really, right in front of me? All right. Yeah. You just tell you, like, don't look at him. That's what he wants, all right? That's what he wants. So I'm like, all right, I gotta say something. So they said they kicked him outside. I get out there. In my Mayberry head, I think this is New York's biggest problem. So I walked over, and I was like, hey, what's wrong with you, man? Like, why would you pretend to be blind? You know, how would you feel if you really were blind? And he was like, how would you feel if you were blind? I was like, what does that have to do with anything? And then he sprayed me with Mace. And let me tell you, blind or not, he was crazy accurate. It wasn't like, oh, did I get him? It was both eyeballs directly. The bridge of my nose wasn't even wet. That's how good he was. And when you get sprayed with Mace, you can see for a second. And I look up, and I saw him, and he runs across the street. And he got hit by a cab. I promise. He ran right in front of a cab. And it's slanted. He was all right. It hit him, he fell onto the sidewalk. But I remember, like, thinking, like, I saw that cab, like, he definitely should have seen it, you know, and it's like, all right, there's a good chance he is blind. You know? Maybe it's his first day or something. I don't know, like... When it happened, you know, I was like telling people, when I told people, they would always want to be like, oh, was it mace or pepper spray? I got asked that. Everybody asked me that. Was it mace or pepper spray? Which is like, I don't know what it was. Like, what kind of life are you living if you could tell the difference of mace and pepper spray? If I knew, I was like, that time was pepper spray, that time. Yeah. This happens a lot. It happens a lot. You just don't say, I don't say anything. I just go in there, I don't know how to fight, and that's what they do. They just pair me up with some 16-year-old kid that wants to fight for a living and wasn't raised by human people. And they're like, why don't y'all just go at it? And I was like, I think it's because we have different goals. Maybe that's why we should not go at it. I believe he is training for the Hunger Games. I just want you not to be able to see my nipples through my shirt. So let's do levels, you know? If someone gave me an Under Armour shirt to wear. Have you ever wore one of those? It's like skin tight. It just shows the worst parts of your body. I look better without a shirt on than with that shirt on. You know in plastic surgery how they draw markers on you? They should just put you in that shirt and be like, obviously you can see we're going to go after it. Like I watch a ton of sports. I love them. And I think it's always great, like you see the NBA, like any big basketball players, like when a team wins a championship. Because you see some of the players afterwards, they're like, I want to dedicate this championship to everybody that doubted me my whole life. Everybody that said I would never make it, you know? Then the guy stands up, he's like 7'2", 340. You want to be like, one more question. No one in your life went on a limb and said, I bet you can go far? Nobody? No one thought you were a tree the first 5 years of your life? I thought your parents were your children. That's how big you are. A lot of times when athletes retire, they can do motivational speaking too. So one type of athlete that you can hire is guys that have climbed Mount Everest. And they go and like talk to like businesses to like motivate them because it's relatable. It's it's not relatable at all. This guy climbed Mount Everest and he's going to try to talk to people that are trying to park as close as they can to the building. And it's like, this is the guy. This guy's going to really get us moving. What he does is he asks everybody, he wants to know, he's like, what's your Mount Everest? Like, what's your toughest thing in life? And before you answer, just remember, his is Mount Everest. So it better be pretty good, you know? Like mine's like, I have trouble not stopping at McDonald's late at night. That's how embarrassing. I would be like, you know, they're open, I don't know how long you're on the mountain, but now they're open 24 hours. I drink too, which doesn't like, you know, that doesn't help me and that guy drink. We have pretty big problems and it's just us two. It's, I don't know, I've had some around. When I was growing up, I mean, I look at my daughter and I have more in common with a pilgrim. And pilgrims believed in witches. Little side note, I would like to say, I think the witch phase was the toughest phase for women to have to go through. Not to get serious, but a lot of people say voting. I disagree. I think it's witch, then voting. I think it's witch, pretty big gap, then, you know, voting. I mean, you jaywalk back then. The whole town was like, there's a witch. You're like, here we go. Here we go. And I'll give it to them, because they could have flown away, but none of them ever did. All right, sorry. Look, just trying to get a witch joke in. It's pretty complicated. There's a lot of moving parts. You got to bring up pilgrims somehow. I took a typing class in 7th grade. That's how. And I thought it was a waste of my time. In my head, I was like, who's going to be typing? Cursive is the future. That's why I like, there's the future. I don't know what's going on. I don't know technology. I don't know what AI is. I don't think you get to know what AI is and also see a donkey jump off a high dive. I think it was one or the other. And I saw the donkey, so I'm out. If I send an email and it says the file is too big, I don't know what to do. My best guess is I try to resend it. That's what I try to do. You know how dumb that is? The computer's like, no. And I go, what about now, though? Hotels are getting futuristic. A lot of hotels, when I stay at, now, when you take a shower, they have half a glass. So it's open, so the water gets on the floor. Because that's the future. They want water on the floor. And I'm old and dumb. We really tried to keep the water inside the tub. It was a pretty big deal. But now, they want the floors wet. That's what they want. They want to do no glass, but I'm still alive, so they're like, all right, do half a glass. Once that guy's gone, we'll do no glass. Floors are wet, drains off the balcony. When I first started going on the road, I would have to do a wake-up call. That's how I got up in the morning. I'd have to call a guy I don't know and just be like, will you wake me up tomorrow? That's the last person I would talk to, was him. I would call my wife, then a man I've never seen. You promise you gonna wake me up tomorrow? We would tell each other good night. So no one's done a wake-up call in probably 20 years now. So there's a guy on the road with us, he's 24 years old. He's never done a wake-up call in his life. And so we were staying at a hotel, and he saw the wake-up call on the phone. And he goes, I'm gonna do a wake-up call. And I told him, I go, don't do it. That's like an ashtray on an airplane. But he was like, no, I wanna do it. All right, so he set it up. Next morning, his phone rings. He doesn't answer the phone. He doesn't know that's the main part of your job. You got to answer the phone and let the guy know you're awake. So then that guy, who's young too probably, is like, I guess I got to go knock on the door. I've never even seen this service used, so it must be the most important person alive. So he goes up and he starts knocking on the door. My buddy still doesn't answer the door. So the guy goes in the room. I swear this is real. Because look, this is two young people that don't know what they're doing. So he goes in the room like, do I have to touch this guy? Is that what a wake-up call is? I gotta touch a guy I've never seen in the dark? So I'd imagine you started making noises, just going, hip, hip now, hip, 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 hip. Hoping he doesn't have to touch this man. But he had to touch him, I swear. That's when he told me he woke up to another guy going, hey buddy. It's time to wake up. Thank you.